When you think of powerful Jewish families in finance, the Rothschilds probably come to mind first. Right, their name is legendary, shaping global finance for centuries. But what happens when we shift our focus to America? The story gets a lot more interesting. While the Rothschilds dominated Europe, a whole new set of influential Jewish families were building their own empires across the Atlantic, leaving a massive mark on the American financial landscape. Today, we're diving deep into the stories of these families, and we'll focus on one name that has become almost synonymous with Wall Street itself: Goldman Sachs. Our story begins not in New York, but in 19th century Bavaria, Germany. In a small village, a tale of incredible ambition was just getting started. Marcus Goldman was born on December 9, 1821, into an Ashkenazi Jewish family. His father, Wolf Goldman, was a cattle dealer and farmer. They weren't wealthy, but they were hardworking. Marcus, however, had his sights set on something much, much bigger. In 1848, a wave of revolution swept across Europe, creating both chaos and opportunity. For Marcus, this was a sign. He made the life-changing decision to leave everything behind and emigrate to America, chasing the promise of the new world. Once he arrived, Marcus started from the absolute bottom. He became a peddler in Philadelphia, traveling with a horse-drawn cart, selling goods door to door. It was a humble beginning, but this experience taught him the fundamentals of business and finance firsthand. Little did anyone know, this peddler was laying the groundwork for an empire that would one day reshape American finance. After years of hard work, Marcus's journey eventually led him to the financial capital of the country, New York City. In 1869, he took a leap of faith and founded a small brokerage firm called Marcus Goldman & Co. on Pine Street. In those early days, his business was simple. He would walk up and down the street, buying promissory notes from merchants and then reselling them to commercial banks for a small profit. It was a niche market, but Marcus had a keen eye for opportunity. He was building trust, one transaction at a time. A pivotal moment came in 1882. Marcus invited his son-in-law, Samuel Sachs, to join the business. Samuel was the husband of Marcus's youngest daughter, Louisa, and he brought a new energy and perspective to the firm. With this new partnership, the company was renamed M. Goldman & Sachs. This wasn't just a name change. It was the beginning of a dynasty. Samuel Sachs was known for his cautious and meticulous nature, which perfectly complemented Marcus's more ambitious and risk-taking style. Together, they were a formidable team. The firm began to grow rapidly, handling millions of dollars in commercial paper transactions. They were quickly becoming a trusted name in the industry. As the 19th century came to a close, the next generation was ready to take the reins. Marcus's son, Henry Goldman, and his son-in-law, Samuel Sachs, stepped into leadership roles. Henry was a visionary. Much like his father, he understood that for the firm to truly thrive, it needed to evolve beyond just trading commercial paper. He pushed the company to venture into the new and exciting world of investment banking, particularly in financing fledgling industries. One of their early, game-changing moves was helping to take companies public through initial public offerings, or IPOs. In 1896, another major milestone was reached when Goldman Sachs became a member of the New York Stock Exchange. This gave them a seat at the most important table in American finance. One of Henry Goldman's most significant contributions was his partnership with the Lehman Brothers. Together, they pioneered the financing of retail companies. At the time, Wall Street was skeptical about investing in retail. They saw it as unstable and not prestigious enough. But Henry saw the future. He saw the rise of the American consumer. He orchestrated the IPOs for companies like Sears, Roebuck & Co., and F.W. Woolworth. These were revolutionary deals that not only made Goldman Sachs a fortune, but also fundamentally changed how Wall Street viewed the retail sector. They proved that financing the businesses that served everyday Americans could be incredibly profitable. This foresight cemented Goldman Sachs' reputation as an innovative and forward-thinking firm. The partnership between the Goldmans and the Sachs families wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal, sealed by marriage and shared values. This family bond created a unique culture within the firm, one built on loyalty, trust, and a relentless drive for success. However, like any family, they faced their share of internal conflicts. As the firm grew, tensions began to rise between the more conservative Sachs wing of the family and the more aggressive Goldman wing, led by Henry. These disagreements came to a head during World War I. Henry Goldman, with his strong German roots, was openly sympathetic to the German cause, which created a major rift within the firm and with their clients. The pressure became so intense that in 1917, Henry was forced to resign from the company his father had founded. It was a painful and dramatic end to his tenure, but the legacy he had built was undeniable. After Henry's departure, the Sachs family took full control, with Samuel Sachs's son, Arthur Sachs, leading the firm into the Roaring '20s. The firm continued its upward trajectory, launching the Goldman Sachs Trading Corporation in 1928. This was an investment trust that allowed smaller investors to pool their money and invest in the stock market. It was wildly popular, and the share price skyrocketed. For a moment, it seemed like the firm could do no wrong. But then came the crash of 1929. The Goldman Sachs Trading Corporation, once a symbol of their success, collapsed, wiping out fortunes and severely damaging the firm's reputation. It was a devastating blow, one that brought the company to the brink of failure. It took years of careful navigation and rebuilding under the leadership of Sidney Weinberg, who was not a family member, but a loyal protege, to restore the firm's standing. Despite these challenges, the influence of the Goldman and Sachs families endured. Their story is a powerful example of the American dream. It's a story of immigrants who came to this country with nothing and, through sheer determination, intelligence, and a bit of risk-taking, built one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. They didn't just build a company, they helped build modern American capitalism. They financed the industries that defined the 20th century, from retail giants to manufacturing powerhouses. While the Rothschilds may have the older legacy in Europe, the story of American finance cannot be told without acknowledging the profound impact of Jewish families like the Goldmans and the Sachses. Their journey from a peddler's cart in Philadelphia to the commanding heights of Wall Street is a testament to the enduring power of ambition and family. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the histories that shaped our world. Let me know in the comments which financial dynasty you'd like to hear about next. See you in the next video. Ever wondered how a single family could shape the financial destiny of an entire nation, and even the world? Last time, we talked about the humble beginnings of Goldman Sachs. Today, we're diving deep into how the next generation transformed it into the global powerhouse we know today. Stick around, because this story is full of brilliant strategies, legendary deals, and a few surprises you won't want to miss. Welcome back to our channel. Let's pick up where we left off. As the 19th century rolled into the 20th, a new leader stepped up to the plate, Henry Goldman. He wasn't just following in his father's footsteps, he was forging a new path entirely. Henry had a revolutionary vision for finance, and his innovative strategies would soon turn Goldman Sachs into a juggernaut of investment banking. One of his most groundbreaking ideas, the use of commercial paper. Now, what's that? In simple terms, it's a way for companies to get short-term loans directly from investors, bypassing the traditional banks in the early 1900s. This was a game changer. It provided a lifeline of capital for countless emerging businesses, fueling the entrepreneurial spirit of a growing America. Imagine being a small but promising business owner back then, struggling to get a loan. Suddenly, Goldman Sachs comes along with this new financial tool, giving you the funds you need to grow. It was like pouring gasoline on the fire of American industry. But Henry Goldman didn't stop there. He saw the future, and it was in taking companies public. This is where Goldman Sachs truly started to build its legendary reputation. They helped some of the most iconic companies of the era make their stock market debut. We're talking about giants like Sears, Roebuck & Co., the Amazon of its day, and the Underwood Typewriter Company, whose machines were on every forward-thinking desk in the country. By helping these companies go public, Goldman Sachs wasn't just making money. They were connecting everyday investors with the most exciting growth stories in the American economy. This foresight, this ability to spot potential and create long-term value through equity investments, set them miles apart from their competitors. Their expertise wasn't limited to just retail and office equipment. They had a knack for identifying and nurturing success across a wide range of industries, from consumer products that filled American homes to the burgeoning technology sector. As the decades rolled on, their influence grew exponentially. By the mid-20th century, Goldman Sachs wasn't just a player in the financial world. They were part of the American financial elite, a name synonymous with power, wealth, and influence. The firm's reputation for handling complex deals became legendary. They were at the center of some of the most significant mergers and acquisitions of the time, shaping the corporate landscape of America. When big companies needed to merge, acquire a rival, or raise massive amounts of capital, Goldman Sachs was the first number they called. Their role as a trusted advisor to corporate titans cemented their status at the very top of the Wall Street food chain. But America wasn't big enough for their ambitions. The world was calling. In the 1980s, Goldman Sachs embarked on a major global expansion, opening offices in the world's key financial centers like London and Tokyo. This was a pivotal moment. It transformed them from a dominant American firm into a true global institution. This international presence didn't just expand their business. It solidified their status as one of the world's leading financial powerhouses, capable of influencing markets and economies across continents. Now, let's talk about tech. When we think of Silicon Valley, we think of venture capitalists and angel investors. But did you know that Goldman Sachs played a crucial, behind-the-scenes role? Even back in the 1980s, long before the dot-com boom, they were advising a small but ambitious software company you might have heard of, Microsoft. Their financial guidance helped shape the trajectory of companies that would later define the digital age. By becoming a key player in tech finance, Goldman Sachs ensured they would remain at the forefront of innovation for decades to come. Their strategy wasn't just about stocks, bonds, and corporate advice. They understood that true wealth and influence come from diversification. And what's one of the most tangible forms of wealth? Real estate. Goldman Sachs began venturing into property investment, acquiring some of the most iconic landmarks in the country. Their purchase of a stake in Rockefeller Center in New York City is a prime example. This wasn't just a financial transaction, it was a statement. Owning a piece of such a prestigious and symbolic property showcased their diversified approach to building wealth and solidified their powerful presence in the high-stakes world of commercial real estate. These tangible assets didn't just add to their bottom line, they became physical symbols of the firm's enduring power. But the story of the Goldman family and their firm isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's also about giving back. From the very beginning, philanthropy has been a core part of their legacy. Over the years, the family has made enormous contributions to education, healthcare, and the arts. Their generosity has funded critical medical research, supported world-class museums and cultural institutions, and provided educational opportunities for countless individuals. This commitment to philanthropy has left a lasting, positive impact on communities across the country and around the world. Adding another important dimension to their legacy, they weren't just building a financial empire. They were helping to build a better society. From a single immigrant's dream to a global financial colossus, The story of Goldman Sachs is a testament to innovation, ambition, and strategic vision. They didn't just react to the changing world, they actively shaped it, financing the industries of the future and advising the companies that would define generations. Their influence stretches from the boardrooms of Wall Street to the tech hubs of Silicon Valley, and their legacy is cemented not just in financial history, but in the very fabric of modern America. What a journey, right? It just goes to show how the right ideas at the right time can change everything. If you found the story as fascinating as I did, do me a huge favor. Hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more stories of the influential families who shaped our world. And please, share this video with your friends and family. It really helps us continue to bring these incredible histories to light. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
ये 4x4 होता है
ये कमाल है।